And we are live. Hey guys, welcome to Crypto Talk Now live with Max and Larry, the Max and Larry Show, with special guest today, Chad Horn, one of the developers with Devour. Thank you so much, Chad, for being here. Before we get started, let me just say hello to my co-host, Max. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to have Chad here. He was with us about roughly 8 months ago. It's been a while. And guys, if you're just tuning in, I know we got some late stragglers coming in and so on, but it's going to be a really, really interesting and good show. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and welcome Chad. How you doing after all this time, Chad?
Been good, Max. It feels like an eternity ago. Like, it's like you say, well, that is a long time, but it feels like longer just because of so much that's happened since then. But awesome to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, more than glad to have you. Thank you for even joining us.
Thank you. There has been a lot of crazy things that has happened in the market, in the crypto market, since we last talked with you. But yeah, thank you again for being here. Max, I know, has everything prepared for this question and answer session. We do thank you for being here. And I'm going to say hello to a couple people, and then we'll turn it over to Max. Coochie Boy is here. Thank you so much for being here. Mr. Shaggins is here. Hello from Scotland. Thank you. Tim Shea says hey, because that's what Tim Shea says. Brian Dowie is saying hello. And we're just running through the comments here. Mr. Max, Larry, Chad, Happy New Year all. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Coochie Boy.
So, Max, we had originally Chad on months ago, and you had made a comment the other day that it's rare for a V1 to V2 to be in the positive. You know, we know that the market had taken a beating a lot this past year. Why don't you talk a little bit about, how you got in, what kind of like made you want to get into it after Chad was on and things like that. And then you can jump into your Q&A if you would, please.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a great question. Originally when Chad joined us here, like I mentioned, about roughly 8 months ago, I think it was May, somewhere in that time frame. Let's face it, we were still kind of going through kind of like a crypto winter. I don't even know if the Terra Luna collapse happened at that time or not. Maybe that was before.
I think it was prior to the Terra crash. Yeah.
Whatever the case be. I mean, I was actually impressed with. Actually, you got some feedback going on. I don't know if you know that, but
anyway, let me lower this. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, during that time, I was looking into the Devour project. I actually personally invested into Devour, and you guys know it. I mean, I have a portfolio of roughly about 50 plus different crypto projects and so on. Some of those basically are ones with real utility. Let's face it, there's a lot of them from late last year, earlier this year that I just got simply, some of the meme tokens and so on didn't do too well. And I'm going through all this and I'm saying to myself, all right, there's this one I got into late 2021. They did a V1 to V2, got destroyed. There's this one, got destroyed. Then I get to where, for instance, this V1 to V2 with Devour, and I was really, really impressed with it because I didn't get destroyed on it. And how about this? Even as we speak, I'm up on the profits. Yeah, in this crypto winter bear market. And I said to myself, we had Chad of Devour on before. That's worth looking into. So when I looked more into it, I said to myself, you know what? What am I thinking? Extend the hand. Invite this guy to come back. He deserves it. Because why? The tokenization of restaurants. So I'm not going to even talk anymore about it. We have tabs up and so on, and I do appreciate some of the people that are now filtering in. For whatever reason, that's how it is with this show. We can't have a bunch of people on the pre-waiting area. That's okay. We're more than thankful for you. But if anything, I'm going to go ahead and kick it into Chad. Chad, you guys had a great V1 to V2. Can you elaborate on that just for a bit?
Absolutely. I will talk about that. But first, I'm going to give your listeners a little bit of context on who and what we are, because that context will explain this, right? So we are very fond of like saying we're a company. We're a restaurant technology company. Even we get in the habit of calling a Devour a project at times. Certainly our community does. But we're a restaurant tech company now that's launched a product. And I think that is a very important context for why we were able to do that migration successfully, is because we grew a community not based on hype and to the moon promises. We built a community based on the vision that we had and people who really bought into it, like really wanted to see it work. We were intentional about going after people that either were from the restaurant industry or passionately connected to the restaurant industry because they used to work at one, or their friends, family did. And they just recognize, like we do, the importance of restaurants and restaurant workers to the world. I mean, there's over 1 million of them in the U.S. It's a 3.6 billion or $1 trillion industry internationally, a massive employer, and not just an employer, but like restaurants serve a vital purpose to their local communities. And so it was because of the commitment to the vision that we were able to show to our community over time, and the community also being there for that, beyond just like financial returns of a crypto investment, that is the essential backdrop for that migration. And I'll give everybody, like, in terms of what the recent movement in the token price, I think it's a reflection of the fact that we were about to and then delivered a product to market successfully that works, right? You can go to devourgo.io right now and use the Devour Go, the food ordering marketplace. So if you've ever used Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, if you're in the UK, you got Just Eat, Deliveroo, etc. People are familiar with that experience and the value it provides, right? It's a convenience economy. Everybody wants fast. They want it brought to them versus getting out sometimes, and that's okay. We deliver that experience in the Web3 world. And so Devour is that bridge between the massive restaurant industry and Web3. And this was the way we could do it at scale and in a way that solved the real problem for restaurants and the Web3 world now. So much of what we've all seen is like, with projects and companies in this space is like, oh, that'll be really cool when it's mainstream, right? When this really takes off. And we didn't want to wait, right, for that to happen, though we're in a really good spot when it does. We thought, what are some of the big problems right now that we could tackle, and use restaurants in the equation so that everybody wins. So back to the migration. It was at a time where we were making great strides as a company. So two things happened there. We built, through our developer at the time, we said, let's build a really easy to use custom migration tool that's going to make it as easy as possible to migrate V1 to V2. And then that worked for a time, right? Not everybody could figure that out, right? But so we were also very ready to manually migrate tokens for people. Again, this is in a context of extreme trust in our community, which we had built to that time. So people felt comfortable. Okay, I transfer tokens to this wallet, which the devs have given me, and then we immediately transfer them the converted amount of Dpay, Devour Pay in this case, from V1. And we just did that, right? As many times as it took to get every last person converted over. And that's how it went.
Well, it seems very, very impressive, to say the least. And I like the idea that the emphasis is not necessarily, like so much hype, like you mentioned, to the moon and those types of things and whatnot. And to be a project that is, for instance, a smaller cap, let's face it, but to also do just that, focusing on these specific services. And so, I mean, there's so many elements that reminds me of things, for instance, like, DoorDash, or some of the ones that are the standout ones of the, food delivery world and whatnot, but even more to it than just that. I'm going to go ahead and basically bring up, for instance, some key things that I noticed that I want to share with everybody here. So, for instance, I'm going to share this in a way for everybody to see it. So give me just a moment. And that is, this right here. It says basically, welcome to 2023 in the industry NFT rewards day. It says 10,510 in monthly rewards were distributed to industry holders. Devour Go brings even more benefits for holders. Jump into Go VIP at devourgo.io to learn more. And yeah, it says this was awarded for January. I like the idea. I mean, you're incentivizing people to do just that, earn more, get more of that experience, of course, to eat better and so on. I'm gonna blow this up just a little bit. Can you elaborate just a little bit in regards to this, Chad?
Oh my gosh, absolutely, Max. I need to, right? So
Yeah.
back to the food ordering app, right? So if you go in there right now, what you're going to see is the live section of that. The food ordering, we have not launched yet. That is coming in January. I've been doing a lot of testing of food orders. It's working, but we're getting that ready, onboarding restaurants later in the month. What is there right now is Go VIP. It's our gamified experience, a chance to earn rewards, a chance to play games, share, devour, everything we're doing, earn points, level up your account, and earn crazy rewards. That will just be instantly utility or value now, or ones that you can use once the food ordering's live for discounts, promos in that context for like delivery, etc. Now, what this is, the industry collection, what makes Devour Go Web3? What is a Web3 food ordering marketplace? There's two things. There's the cryptocurrency side, and then there's the NFT side. The NFT side, in many ways, is the most unique, powerful thing we're doing in the space. We can take any NFT collection, and hence the corresponding community or brand that put out the NFT, and basically give their fans partnership with restaurants, utility at all of the restaurants on our platform. So if I'm in whatever community, right, like ours, the platform will recognize that I have the NFT and it'll unlock all the restaurant promos associated with it. So it could be a hidden menu item, it could be half off delivery, it could be access to an event the restaurant's doing, etc., etc. We having an NFT of our own, which is the industry collection, which is as a theme, it's a tribute to the restaurant industry. It features generative art, 12 different restaurant worker positions. It's also the NFT that, being the one that we can control, just jam-packed with utility, right? So we've programmed the site to automatically recognize holders of this collection, not just with the restaurant benefits I described, but hey, let's make it more rewarding. $10 in Dpay every month goes right into their account based on holding that NFT. And if they own 10, they get 10x the reward. So it's our showcase of utility, real world utility attached to an NFT, which is what our platform is really all about, that we're just turbocharging for this collection.
Super cool. I'm just going to take a moment basically to just, maybe read a couple questions.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where Larry actually made a post. I'm sorry about that. Patch just has the night off. Okay, I get what you're saying. All right. The next thing I might want to get into on this particular tab I have as well. I noticed another thing that kind of just struck got my attention, I should say. And that is this right here. So it says, you have this thing in which is basically the monthly industry NFT rewards. Like it went out, obviously not, today or so on. But it says the industry.restaurant or mint go VIP at devour.io. I know you kind of elaborated a little bit about the previous one, but this right here, how did that actually go? Was it something that was super technical? Is there really good ease of access in regards to that? Could you also elaborate on this a little bit?
Absolutely. So we've been doing this for some months now. Now, before we launched the platform, we had one option, which was we airdropped everybody with the industry NFT their $10 in Dpay at the beginning of each month. Now, even though we have the platform live, because we've launched it recently enough, and it was around the holidays where maybe not everybody's paying attention. Maybe not, maybe people took a vacation, time off. We didn't want to give everybody the Dpay through the platform because then somebody might miss it. The intention is everybody will register their wallet that has the industry NFT and they'll get rewarded right to it, but as a result of registering on our platform. So we did another airdrop for the month of January just to give more people time to get situated and register their wallets. At the beginning of February, that Dpay balance will show up right in their account on Devour Go for every industry NFT. So this is the last time we did the airdrop method. The rewards will be the same, but the next time it'll be through the platform itself.
Okay, fair enough. It seems really impressive. I like how you guys just keep up with these updates. You're very engaged with your community. On top of that, I saw a few more other things I just, definitely want to mention. If you guys have any questions for Chad, by all means, We would love to hear what kind of questions or comments you have. I want to go ahead and welcome this particular guy, who is the Big Watch Dude. Good to see you again, Big Watch Dude. He states, "What's up, Max, Larry, and CTM fam? See, you got a new avatar. It looks pretty cool." And of course, Tim Shea says, "Hey, Big Watch Dude." And of course, Brian Dowie's in the house as well. So good to see you guys here. We're with Chad of Devour. I don't know who's got some bad feedback, but that's okay. What I was going to state is I'm going to show you guys this as well. Hold on just a moment. And it's kind of like the whole concept of why I got originally into this as well. So I want to share this with you guys. I know I'm going back and forth with a lot of this, but this was shared a while back from the Devour site. And it states basically, check out one of my industry collection NFTs. This handsome guy is getting me $10 worth of Dpay every month just for having it in my digital wallet. It's kind of like in reference to the previous one we showed and so on, but it gives you an illustration or example, I should say, of how this looks. I'm going to just take a brief moment, and then I'm going to go to this, for instance. So you have all these, attributes you can customize your character basically. Do you have a character that kind of looks like you, Chad?
I wish I could. If you pull me up on LinkedIn or Twitter, I'm on Twitter. I'm at Devour Upholder. I'm pretty sure my avatar is the one I got.
Yeah, that's right. On Telegram, that's the one you have, right?
There you go. Telegram, same one.
Yeah.
A bartender. I wouldn't say he looks exactly like me, but it was of the ones that I had, it was the closest to it. So that's what I went with. Yeah, so thank you for showcasing the art, right? This is not, well, though, since this has come out, like there, the NFT world has seen all kinds of different art styles, but we did this style as a response to, we wanted a style that was befitting of the restaurant industry, something that really showed the passion, the grit, and the variety of the restaurant worker out there. And we didn't want to do something super cartoony, but nor did we want to do something ultra realistic either. So this is the in between that we felt captured the essence of the industry. And so here you have a server. You could also have there's managers, line cooks, head chefs, hosts, hostesses, delivery drivers, etc. You find a rich variety in this collection.
Okay. So let me also hold on a second. I think we got some issues going on here. Let me see here. I've noticed a few more people came in. Thank you for joining us here at Crypto Talk Now. We have, for instance, I forgot this one. Tim Shea, Patches gives me all the good tips. Yeah, that's Larry's dog, basically. If you don't know who Patches is, Chad, he's a good little mutt. Why is it Patches here today, Larry?
I just figured it'd be easier to give him the night off because of the format, with having Chad as a guest and everything. And it took a while for me to get him to wake up from his nap. So I'm like, you know what? Let him go back and take his nap downstairs. He was sleeping upstairs or downstairs, so I didn't want to bring him up to the studio. Give him a little break tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, I saw Cool Cat Crypto in the house. Thank you for being here. Cool Cat. Brian Dowie states Patches has more XRP than Larry. Just joking.
Probably so, yeah.
We kind of have a joke here, Chad, when it comes to Larry getting his XRP. I know we're talking about Devour and so on, but any chance are you into some of the the ISO 222 tokens and coins and so on, or any other utility-based, crypto?
I candidly am not into much anything other than Devour. I've been so heads down. And you should also know I've got 4 kids in addition to being a full-time founder and developer of this project. So life is busy. Hasn't left a lot of time for many other things.
Well, I'll tell you this much, my friend. You definitely need to look into some of these ISO 222 compliant ones and so on. You're going to see a massive wave of these central banks, especially in Europe and so on. They're going to a new financial system. I'll just state this. Ripple's XRP, that on-demand liquidity is just, oh my gosh, it gets me so excited about. I'm thinking about how so many of us missed out on Bitcoin originally.
Yeah,
it's that level of excitement for me. We talk about quant here, quant often here. It's one of those other ones. It's an operating system, if you will, that basically makes 100+ blockchains interoperable. It's amazing stuff. But I'm gonna go ahead and kick it to the next one. Patches is an XRP whale. All right. You guys got some funny comments. Hold on a second. Daniel Delgado's in the house. He states, wow, the gas fees right now are nuts. Okay. Tim Shea states, hey, Daniel. Cool Cat Crypto, you telling me, Dan? All right. Let me go a little bit further down. Let's see if you guys got any specific questions. The Crypto King's in the house. He says 0.001 coming for Luna Classic. Is that, what do you think, Larry? Is that Crypto King that we know? The
one that's friends with Classic Crypto. I'm not sure. We'd have to check his YouTube channel. But let me just ask Chad this. So you mentioned Uber Eats, right? So
yeah,
those guys, I'm guessing Uber, a big company, they're probably not involved in crypto right now, right? Are you kind of feeling like you've got the competitive advantage because you got the jump on some of these bigger guys since you're
that's correct.
first
We
crypto in
know
the
for
industry?
certainty that the big guys are not involved in crypto in any way right now. Yeah,
that's good, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is an extreme first mover advantage. And there's a couple elements to that. One is the restaurant world, right? it is not usually the first industry to move forward with new technology. So these big tech companies, not just the delivery companies, all tech companies in the restaurant tech space are not generally being asked, or certainly not demanded by their clients, hey, you need to be able to accept crypto or do anything in the Web3 space. And at the same time, these companies, there's a lot that restaurants want and need that they're asking their providers for that have nothing to do with Web3. So you've got these tech companies that have just really long roadmaps of important features, functionality they need to add or committed to big clients that they need to execute on. And so they just aren't at the place where they're going to be able to be strategic in their roadmap and say, hey, we need to accept crypto. We need to do XYZ for NFTs because that's the future. They just can't get there just because they have so much they have to build for their current clients that are asking for Web2 stuff. And so it's left this big gaping hole for us to be that bridge between the restaurant world and the Web3 world, which we're grateful for. It's also, at the same time, we want to encourage more people to develop in this space, in this industry, because there's so much opportunity. I was just talking to a guy this morning that said, hey, you guys should do employee NFTs, right? Like you should help restaurants like create NFTs for their employees and give them all kinds of benefits. Like, and I'm thinking, we could do that, but we're not going to take eye off the ball with the marketplace platform that we've just launched and all of the capabilities it needs. But we would love to partner with anybody else that wants to come and add much needed value to the intersection of restaurant and Web3, because we're not going to be the only ones in this space. What we focus on is, our core competency. We're really good. Me and the co-founders come from the restaurant tech industry. We have experience with all the different restaurant tech companies out there. So integrations is where that come in. We did not launch this platform without integrating to two other core platforms out there. One that connects orders. So if I place an order as a user on DoorDash, Uber Eats, etc., there's already companies that come in and take that order and make sure it flows directly into the restaurant operations and in their point of sale system, get to the kitchen so their workers can start prepping that order immediately without error. We didn't invent that, but we tied into that so that when an order comes through to Devour Go, the restaurants get that same benefit. Same thing with delivery. Like, we don't have our own fleets. We work with other tech companies that already do fleet management and fleet aggregation. So if we send an order, it's going to be taken care of by others who already have that as a built, established, solid business. It's not a Web3 company, but we have to tie into it to deliver our full user experience. So we have a lot of experience in that. We've a lot of experience in restaurant sales, so we're very well connected in the space for that angle. That's the unique strength we build, and we bring in. And a food ordering marketplace has so much promise in and of itself. We're going to be wary of venturing too far off that path. But boy, do we want to strengthen other companies that want to come in this space and do something in any way complementary to our mission.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have some questions. We have some questions that are coming in from the audience, Max. If you want to blow up the stream and get to them, I have one here. If you want to read this one here from Big Watch Dude.
Yeah, this is from Big Wash Dude. Is Devour similar to the Eats project with a Z, which is a food delivery token where you can pay for your food with just that crypto? That's a great question. Thank you for that.
Great question. I'd be happy to answer it. Yeah, Devour has a token, right? So Devour is the company that has, we've launched the Devour Go product. We have the industry NFT collection. We also have Devour Pay. That token is both a rewards token for use on Devour Go. So if I order food, I can get Devour Pay back as a percentage of that order back as Dpay. And I can earn it for holding the industry NFT, right? Like we talked about, as well as other ways. And I think it's important to say, unlike Eats, we are first and foremost a rewards token. It is important, like before crypto as payment has become mainstream, even crypto people, like some of our partner restaurants that are into this space that have offered crypto for payment will tell us, every single one, yeah, we like to have it. We like to offer it because there are certain customers that appreciate that. But as a percentage of the overall transactions, it's not a lot, right? Most people are still paying by credit card, etc. So we say, okay, how do we make it matter now? We can start rewarding people left and right with Dpay so that they're accruing a balance. Now they want to do something with it, and they can order food, they can save it, and other things they can use it for in our platform. So being first and foremost a rewards token, an exclusive rewards token to our platform, but then a payment token as well, is helping with the driving of the utility and the adoption early before paying with crypto becomes more mainstream than it is.
We had another question flow in here from the audience. Tim Shea was asking, the NFT you showed earlier, he was asking how much that particular NFT goes for roughly.
0.15 Ethereum.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And then another question here. Thank you for the audience. Drop more questions for Chad. We're talking with Chad from Devour, one of the developers of Devour token. Bitcoin BMW says, which city is Devour based out of? Any local restaurants or larger chains on board? Is it a phone-based app? Also, he's got a few questions in there if you see that on the screen.
I'll hit them all. I can see them on the screen. Thank you for leaving them up there. Devour, the company, is based, the founders are in 3 places, right? You've got our CEO in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm in Boston, Massachusetts. Another co-founder in Louisville, Kentucky. 1 second. One moment.
Okay. No worries.
Okay. Yeah. So that's not where we're focusing on with the launch. So we're focusing on 25 major markets in the US to launch. Most notably New York and Los Angeles, which are, we'll call them crypto Web3 meccas, and but all the other cities as well.
Big for restaurants too. Those cities also
big for restaurants.
Yeah.
Miami, Austin, Denver, etc., etc. The cities you would guess.
Right.
Our chains on board. If you go to Devour, we just changed this. Where we had the logos of some of the restaurants that we've released that we will be working with in Devour Go, but I don't know who's gonna. Pokeworks, Gregory's Coffee. If you're in New York right now, you know Gregory's Coffee. It's big in the Northeast, and others that we've listed. But the main thing is, because of our partnerships in the space, the integration partner I talked about that orders makes it easy for orders to get from the restaurant or the platform people are ordering on into the restaurant. They already have a number of restaurants that are pre-opted into partners such as us that come on board and have integrated with them. So we have at least a few hundred restaurants waiting in the wings right now to go live. So it's going to be a big launch, but I would say most notably watch for what happens in LA and New York.
Awesome. I like the idea of, using utility to get more of that adoption that you're looking for, these various different restaurants throughout different cities and so on. I'm going to go ahead and see if we have a few more questions. If we don't, we're going to go ahead and get to a few more of these particular highlights I saw from Devour. I think there is one right here.
We have a couple more questions. Yep.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and highlight that, Larry?
Yeah, sure. So this one here from Coochie Boy, thank you. He says, Chad, will Devour look to list on Shiba Swap for Shiba Inu?
We haven't looked into it yet. That's the candid answer.
All right.
Not opposed to it in principle.
Focus and Trade, thank you for being here. He says, "What's up, gang? Larry and Max just here to catch some sauce from Devour." How about that? So
Nice.
Well, thanks for being here, Focus and Trade.
thank you. XXI Gaming is here. Here's another question from Bitcoin BMW. Also, is it a point of sale system or restaurant rewards program? I think you answered that already, but
I'm going to hit it again because this is super important, right? It is good question in that, yes, it is a restaurant technology company with a restaurant tech product, but the product is a food ordering marketplace. Okay. Only with that Web3 enablement I talked about.
Cool. Tim Shea says he's been looking at your white paper, and he says the white paper says 5 trillion tokens with less than 15% circulating. When do you release more, and how does that work?
Every month when we release those rewards, that's when we circulate more from the treasury. Yep.
All right. And then looks like one more question from Coochie Boy. Did Devour use profits from its native token to build other projects within its ecosystem?
No. Our fundraising efforts were quite distinct from that. We largely self-fundraise. We did raise through friends, family, and advisors. And recently we had a fairly significant investment through an investment group. And that this is all based on token, but we're moving into equity-based funding options here in the new year.
And then another question from Coochie Boy, follow up. He says, how many employees are on the payroll for Devour?
I'm going to break this down. So we have 3 full-time co-founders, but we also have a large network of independents, virtual assistants around the world. Of course, our mods and community managers on Telegram and Discord. But employees, I'm going to say 3, but more if you count part-time.
Okay, cool. Thank you for answering all those. And I'm going to kick it back to Max. He's got some other stuff to point out about Devour. So thank everyone that has joined us here. We're talking with Chad from Devour Token.
Yeah, no problem. One thing I wanted to point out also is, this gets brought up a lot when it comes to, small market cap projects and so on. And that basically is this right here, straight from your site, actually. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. And, people always wonder, for instance, are you guys like a fully doxed project and so on, which is, a fair enough question. Where was that? I think this is from the other site, but nonetheless, you used to have it at the very bottom, right? Yeah.
Devour.io.
Devour.io. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Just fix that.
Used to be on that site until we turned it into the live product as well.
That's
but
okay.
Devour.io. Yeah.
Go back to it real quick and present it that way. No worries. So here it is, guys. You see right here, the future Web3 dining, connecting fans and brands to restaurants through the power of Web3. Even when we had Chad on back about 8 months ago with the Devour project, you guys were known as the restaurants token back then, but there's a lot of focus on just that, understanding Web3, what it's all about. And you see that with the app and so on, but look at this, order food, get rewards, and enjoy VIP experiences with your Web3 assets. Pay and earn with crypto, unlock promotions and exclusive items with your NFTs. Their focus is just that. Look at that, 1 million plus US restaurant locations. Chad basically mentioned a few of those particular cities and so on. I live in the Phoenix area, just like one of your team members and so on. I'm originally from Portland, Oregon. I'll state this much. Portland is really big on restaurants. They have some really great restaurants in that particular area. But, there's a lot going on with this. And one thing that really impressed me from the first time you came on was everybody that you see, whether it's from, like your Telegram, your website, your community on Twitter and so on, they have some form of a restaurant background. That's what really, really stood out for me. And on top of that, look at this, guys. I'm gonna go all the way to the bottom and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So, you want to talk about like a team. I don't know if you're 100% fully doxed, but you sure the heck seem like you are. Yeah. So
we have been from nearly the beginning.
Yeah. That's, in some cases, that's kind of like the standard, if you will. Don't get me wrong, when it comes to like Shiba Inu and, some of these other projects like Heck, even Bitcoin, technically speaking, I mean, you know, there's ones where they didn't dox. Obviously, Satoshi Nakamoto, and that worked out. But yeah, I think it's to be expected, especially in this day and age, for projects like this to see your guys' faces, to see your backgrounds, to see that if I hover over this, you know, CEO, co-founder Shirley Rupel is the last how to pronounce it, right? Or Rupel?
That's correct.
Okay, Rupel. All right. I mean, you have links to, for instance, you know, some of the profiles, the background, so on, even yourself, right? So I'm just going to go more through this and so on. You guys just have a very, you know, a big team, but the team, even on the original sit down, where you want to call it, you know, I think originally, I don't know if it was an AMA, but you were sharing your project. And again, everybody has some form of background in the restaurant industry. This is not some, I hate to say this, but you know, I think you even realize it yourself. I know Larry does, especially. This is not some just like fly by night, low market cap. You know, let's pull a freaking website together from Fiverr, slap it together on ERC20 token, and then we never see you guys again. You guys are still around. And again, I'm just so blown away with that V1 to V2 migration. That's why I'll be honest, if there was one key thing, if that's what stood out for me, I said to myself, these are the guys who make it. These are the guys that are part of, when people say, you know, the 1% that don't, you know, that make it, 99% aren't going to be around. I think you guys are around. I think you guys are proving that. And I really love to see how innovative you are. I'm going to hop into this next particular tab. I just want to show everybody that particular area where it shows you guys. There's this right here. Just a second, and that is, I think we show some of this. So yeah, I want to share this part real quick with you guys. So it says, you know, Devour's Go VIP rewards are here. You can play and share, of course, your way to awesome restaurant rewards. I know Chad talked a little bit about this, but you know, just glancing at it, what stands out to me is, hey, you know, you have games to play. People like this, play and earn with food prizes. So it says earn now, ordering/delivery coming in January. We are in January. I'll blow this up and look at this. I mean, elaborate on some of this, the Pizza Cafe, the Stack the Burgers, some of these other ones. I mean, we're in January. So go ahead. Tell us all about how we can play this.
Yeah. DevourGo.io. You could be playing in less than a minute from now. Right. So the thing to think about here, right, is the part that you can go into the Devour Go right now. Think about Devour as the overarching platform, the Web3 food ordering marketplace. This is Go VIP, what you have on the screen. This is, you know, we're focusing on helping users, people from the Web3 world feel like VIPs when they go to a restaurant, right? We're trying to get rid of the boring dining out experience. The way we do that is by creating exclusive experiences and benefits for at the individual level on the basis of the communities they're a part of. So if if I'm part of the Devour community through the industry collection, I get access to cool benefits of things like, it's not boring, it's special to me. If I'm a Bored Ape, I get something, and you get the Bored Ape banana pizza from the local pizza joint, right? This is our way of showing that aspect of what we're about, even before the food ordering is live, that I can come in, I can play games, I can earn points, I can level up my account, and then there's status and promotions and benefits associated with that. You were earlier on the site with the prizes, like being able to win a drone and Oculus and all these cool things. We want to highlight that this is fun. This is about experience. Games are experiential. So you can go play Pizza Cafe. The second one is Candy Blast. And as you progress levels, you will earn points that help you level up your account. And it's actually, to get beyond level 4, you need to have the industry NFT collection, another utility of that NFT. But you can get the first 3 levels and get a promotion, get a unique NFT that we have for people just for reaching level 2, and then 3 is an NFT loot box. So there's all kinds of cool rewards here. The games are just part of that experience of earning, playing, sharing, earning, progressing levels. Because at the end of the day, right, the Web3 aspect of this platform is that I can become and be recognized for all the communities I'm a part of, all of the web brands that have ventured into Web3 that I'm a part of. It's still mind-blowing to me. Just a few weeks ago, Manchester United, a massive football club with over 1 billion fans across the world. They launched an NFT. There's over 600,000 of these things minted. Massive communities of people that are really passionate about something, and we can come and say, here's all the restaurants that want to recognize you and take that community you're a part of and create an experience for you, something unique. This is just a precursor to like that full vision fully realized, and we have more games coming. So thanks for calling it out.
Cool.
No problem.
Let's take a moment.
Go ahead.
If you don't mind, Max, let's take a moment to welcome some audience members. We have a couple of comments here and a question. Michael Montclair says, hello. Daniel Delgado says, good choice of a name for the project, Chad. Devour that digital dining market. So let's see here. Where's that one question? Yes, Coochie Boy says, what was the driving reason to migrate from a V1 to a V2?
Good question. So the first one, the main one that caught our attention is that when we were doing the first applications of Devour Pay or restaurants token at the time as a payments, we saw what the price of a burger was, and it was billions of tokens because we had a supply of a quadrillion tokens. It's like,
right,
that's not a really scalable denomination when you're asking people who may not be crypto savvy to like pay for food with crypto. It's like, that's just wonky. You have to pay with millions or billions of anything. So we said that's one, right? And so then there was also taxation on that original token. There was a 10% buy or sell tax that would fund marketing, etc. Some of it would get burnt. And like that was trendy at the time. And originally we didn't know any better. It's like, that's what crypto projects do, and realized over time, like that's not what we do, right? So part of that was another driving force to go to V2, and so those added up for enough of a reason for us to do the migration.
Okay. Well, thank you for answering that. That makes a lot of sense. Here's another question. Coochie Boy is trying to gather if you're a coder or if you're more of like on the front lines of things. Are you somebody that actually is a computer coder yourself?
I used to be, right? So I went to school for computer science, worked at Hewlett Packard for a little while, but in the end, I went back to school for other things. I got a psychology degree before I found myself in what we'll call a business development role at a restaurant tech company 15 years ago. Cool. So I'm not a coder anymore, but I can speak the language, and so I'm one of the people that interface with our real dev team. That was one of the weird things for me getting into the crypto space, is like everybody being called a dev when that did mean something different to me too.
Right.
So now I've adopted the lexicon, but truly I'm not a code developer actively anymore.
Well, that's good that you understand that world too, so you can communicate with your coders and things of that nature, the computer guys, the tech guys. So that's good. You got a little bit of both worlds, or a lot of both worlds. But all right, Max, I'll kick it back over to you. And thank you to everybody in the comments for your comments and questions. We really appreciate them.
Guys, I want to say this. I want to apologize. I forgot to tag like all the communities out there. I only tagged the Devour community, and our numbers are way down for it. So I do apologize for that. I didn't include XRP, Quant, all these other ones and so on, but it's called I Am Human, but I will do better next time. I want to state this. I want to get into some more of these questions in a little bit, but I want to show you guys some more key things that I found. Of course, in my preparation before the show. And by the way, I want to point this out real quick. I just kind of caught my eye. I thought it was kind of cool in a way. This right here. So tap to start. That's like, am I going to play Grand Theft Auto? That reminds me of Grand Theft Auto. Anyway.
We didn't we didn't think about that font comparison.
No, it's fine. Well, I'm a huge GTA fan, so anyway. Yeah, no. But anyway, just kind of just going through some of this. I mean, I went through your timeline and so on, and I said, you know what? We've been harping on some of this. Why not? So to start playing, sharing, and earning today at Devour.io or DevourGo.io. Excuse me. This is the beginning of the next gen personalized fan experiences at awesome restaurants. The rewards are waiting for you, and I mean, again, just for a person looking from the outside, I mean, if I went and saw this, didn't know anything about Devour, I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, the tokenization of things that I'm familiar with, DoorDash, Uber Eats, those type of concepts. So when you come on here, Chad, and you mentioned, for instance, yeah, you know, technically speaking, those avenues, if you will, the Ubers, you know, the DoorDash, the Grubhubs, and so on, they're not into crypto. You guys are. That's very appealing to me. When people make the statement of low market cap gems, to me, it's like, well, you guys do have that utility. You are trying to reach that base, and we're so incredibly early. Combine that with some of the elements of you also had a great V1 to V2. When you get hit with a hard question like that from Coochie Boy from our audience, you answer it directly. There's no hesitation. I'm just looking at it from so many different perspectives of, you know what, I'm not really into a lot of low market cap ones out there. I'm not a big fan of, I hate to say this, but dog crap e-news out there and so on. But there is every now and then one that comes through the pipeline that isn't meme focused, that is low market cap. And if anything, you guys are still very early, or we are all still very early. So we're now into 2023. Where do you guys see this going within the next, let's face it, into the next year? Is there some magic moment that's going to happen, for instance, by the summertime that you got going? Can you elaborate on some of the other things that you guys are trying to do for your outlook going into further into 2023?
Yeah. First of all, comment on the small market cap thing, right? It didn't sit well with any of us that there would be crazy market caps, right, for various coins and projects that had delivered nothing, right? It was just based on hype and marketing. It's like that is not the world we came from, and so it just sat uncomfortable because clearly these projects were not real companies. Most of them didn't have long-term visions and plans, and weren't in most cases solving a real problem. So we wanted to be very different, right? So it helped, I guess, in some ways that marketing wasn't any of the co-founders' background. That was like none of us needed to flex that ability. We just focused on we did put the word out there. We grew a community that wasn't too small, but it is a tight-knit, smaller community compared to many. And we were just like, let's get to the point where we've delivered a product and then just start telling our story with what we've done, not what we're going to do. Right. So this is that moment in time that's that turning point. We've launched a product. We do want now more people to see it and enjoy it and see that, hey, this team's capable of putting out a quality product with complex Web3 engineering and a Web2 experience. Consumer facing applications, the quality of user experience that has to be there, that is not a low bar, right? To be able to rival and break existing habits, right, with other food ordering apps or whatever people are doing, that is not a low bar. We understand that through our experience. And so we are able to showcase, like this product right now showcases like, hey, I can register multiple wallets. The product can see my NFT collections and show them to me and to deliver certain benefits associated with those. It can give me my $10 in Dpay every month. It can give me, right, it can let me withdraw that Dpay to a DeFi wallet. So our team, one of our actual developers, coders, like this guy is the most amazing blockchain developer. He's the best of that, but he's also the best developer I've ever seen. Like he's just so organized with how he leads his developer team. There's probably like 7 or 8 of them in total on the team. And they're just phenomenal, right? And what they've accomplished. And we want people to see that and base part of their belief in what they're going based on that evidence. Because if the roles were reversed, that's how I would look at companies. That's how I would look at projects. Like, okay, show me what you've done. I mean, yeah, you can getting the advantage of getting in early of something if you're pre them doing their product, but we're kind of the best of both worlds because we haven't gone crazy with the marketing until we've released our product. So we're actually talking with one of the most prestigious marketing agencies right now, and we are planning on moving forward with them in the short term because they're really good, and we're confident that they could tell our story really well, and that once people see it and experience it, that'll be a worthwhile investment. So we expect great things in 2023 from that awareness. But what really gets me excited is, what is our product going to do? We're going to launch food ordering. People will be able to, see local restaurants, and they'll be able to filter. Filter is what I go to. Like, how is this different than a DoorDash, Uber Eats? If you go to DoorDash, Uber Eats, you're going to see, oh, I want to see restaurants that are within 2 miles of me, restaurants that can deliver to me in 30 minutes, restaurants that are serving Mexican, etc. The top level filter, the main thing people using Devour Go will filter on is, what communities am I a part of? What brands am I a fan of? Again, reflected by their NFT ownership. But that's the main thing. And that if there's a big benefit or promotion experience for you related to that, yeah, you're going to use Devour Go instead of something else, because why wouldn't you? It's like,
right. Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we're excited, right, for. And then everything else down the roadmap. This year, like, we were surprised, like, how much restaurants were getting into the metaverse. Like, I was like, oh, no, that's going to take a long time. And I still think in many ways it will. But I see, later this year, 2023 now, and then into next year, a big theme of Devour will be bridging the gap between restaurants and the metaverse, because there will be real experiences for people in game worlds and metaverse worlds to order at a virtual restaurant, or just do something in the game and have that trigger a delivery event to their house, as well as in-game utility associated with ordering food from the big brands. The big brands, some of which people would see in the news, some of which they wouldn't see yet, and I'm under NDA, I can't talk about it. Like, there's some big moves coming into, like, the metaverse with bigger restaurant brands. So that's something we're going to be a part of as well. And there's just so much coming down. But the first thing is first, like, people will need to be able to order food and get exclusive benefits related to their NFT communities.
I'm really impressed with the focus you have in regards to the product. Go ahead, Larry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I was just going to bring in this comment here, and
this is a great comment. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Salamander Space was kind of like thinking a little bit along the lines I was. Do you foresee, an opportunity where you could, I'm going to add something to it, you could partner with someone like Uber Eats, like a bigger brand that's not into crypto, or potentially, I was thinking this too, you could, potentially be bought out by them, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. I mean, it would be, a financial windfall, I guess you could say. But do you see yourself partnering or possibly getting bought out by a bigger brand that's not yet into crypto, seeing that you were, first into it?
Definitely a two-part question. So one, yes to partnering, right? So partnering in general, anybody, right? So typically, though, I would say other ordering platforms and loyalty platforms in the restaurant space, and there's over 100 that matter, right? Restaurants might have one company do the ordering on their website, right? If I'm a consumer going direct to the restaurant through the website, there's great companies that do that. There's other marketplaces. There's loyalty programs. None of these companies have Web3 engineers, right? So I do see us being a big time partner to the existing restaurant tech ecosystem to bridge the gap between their products and Web3. We can give them APIs that will let them do token gating, right? That will let them do things with cryptocurrency, that will let them, do this NFT community recognition we're talking about, so that their development timeline for getting in the game, all right, give basic benefits to maybe a NFT community they're partnered with, or a sports brand that's gotten into NFTs. We can take their development cycle from 100% down to 10%, right? And so absolutely are going to do that. Now, will we likely be an acquisition target? I mean, if we do what we do well, probably. That is not our goal, because we know the main thing for us is the reason we were the team to do it as early as we did, before there was a very clear path to commercial success. It was more high level than that. It's like Web3 is going to transform everything, and it's going to impact every industry, and restaurants are probably going to get left behind unless we do something about it, right? Because they always do, right? So we said, not this time, not on our watch. We're going to do this thing and figure it out. And so as long as our partners and potentially an acquirer is in lockstep with that spirit and goal, and they're going to take care of this industry and be responsible with the product that we've put out there, then that's something we're open to. But I think we have a very high bar with the partners that we'd work with, because this was born out of love for the industry. We want to make sure our partners share that same ethos.
Same passion, yeah. Well, that pretty much answers Focus and Trade's question about the future partnerships on the horizon. Right. So thank you for that question, Chad. Thank you for the answers. And we do want to bring in, we have some more questions here. Tim Shea says, do you have a vehicle in mind for ordering from the metaverse yet?
We are the vehicle. So if a restaurant onboards the Devour Go, that will be the same ordering engine, right? That brings their orders from, I'm going to say, Decentraland, Sandbox, etc., to their kitchen, right? So we become the bridge from the metaverse to the restaurant. We would then have to integrate with the respective metaverse world, but we're the ordering platform on that.
And Coochie Boy says, is there a decentralized, is there Dpay app available on the App Store or Play Store yet?
No. So at the launch, our developers strongly advise us, make it a web app at first. Make sure it's, again, test it out thoroughly, get the first 30, 60 days, make sure you're very clear that because they're tweaking things all the time based on user feedback and our feedback, make sure it's right, and then go to the App Store. So we are going to be in Android, iPhone app stores, but not until later in Q1.
Mr. MD says, how do you see yourselves expanding outside the US? I mean, this seems to be a company that has a clear and controlled path of expansion. And he elaborates by saying, because the product is very centralized in America, do you have, is there a way that you're going to plan to expand outside the US with the restaurants? I think that's a good question.
Yes. So there's so much opportunity in the US. I'll start with that. So we're not going to be overly anxious to go international for the company's benefit, except for the fact that our companies are bringing us internationally. It's funny that one of our first partners, Bored and Hungry, the Food Fighters, if you're familiar with that Bored Ape themed restaurant in California, their second location was in South Korea. So we already have pressure to be international. The cool thing is that's not that big of a lift for us, because the main thing that is required for international is international delivery. And our platform has been engineered to be able to work with any number of fleet services. We'll call them. We're going to use a different buzzword. No one would like that. So fleet services. So we can plug into international fleet services and get advantage of the local feet on the ground, the motorcycles, the cars that are bringing people their food, so that we can go internationally. That's 90% of it. So we will be going international as soon as it makes sense to do that. And it will probably make sense earlier than it otherwise would, because our customers are bringing us there.
Focus on Trade is thanking Chad for answering the question. And then Max, do you have the website up there where you can show the roadmap? Because I was kind of curious about the roadmap. I know we looked at it a long time ago.
I do. I want to show you guys just something real quick, because if I don't do it now, I might forget later. And this is something that really, really stood out. That was kind of like a key highlight. But that's a great question in regards to the roadmap. I would be asking the same thing. So great questions, you guys. Really appreciate you guys even here and tuning in to this special edition of Crypto Talk Now. But I want to show this. So this, maybe you even saw it yourself a while back, but look at this, guys. Most traded small cap for the top 2,000 biggest ETH whales today. We're always tracking, for instance, whale activity, especially ETH whale activity. And you see, for instance, number 2 is Dpay at Go Devour, straight from Whale Stats. I'll blow this up a little bit. This is from December 23rd. So it's not like I'm posting something that happened during the launch or something like that. So Alpha, most traded small cap tokens. There it is, Dpay. And here's this particular source, whalestats.com/top 2000 ETH. It's just, give credit where credit's due. That's really, really impressive. I don't know if you saw this for yourself, Chad. It's okay if you didn't, but yeah, I mean, I just definitely wanted to share that with you guys as well, because, it's something to be said. We always tell our guys, our community here, when in doubt, zoom out. And on top of that, follow the money, especially when it comes to whale activity. So that was really, really cool. Anyway, yes, we will go ahead and share the particular roadmap. Give me just a moment to pull that up. While I'm pulling this up, you got any more questions for us?
I do
Larry?
have a comment here. XXI Gaming just put in there. I'm definitely getting into this project. Need something like this on my investment list.
Well, I appreciate hearing that, XXI. I mean, we can't give anybody official financial advice or anything like that, but you guys have stated in the past that you wanted us to show you some of these smaller market cap or micro cap. Chad, I don't mean no disrespect like that. I mean, it's just, what I mean? It's
Okay.
some project like, how dare you call me a smaller? It's like,
No offense taken. It's by design.
Exactly.
I just DM'd you our most up-to-date roadmap, Max.
Okay. Was it on Telegram or?
It was Telegram.
Let me open that real quick. I have to shut off my Telegram because I get spammed on there. Something fierce. I need to turn off the some of the sounds. It's just
while you're doing that, I'm going to say hello to a few audience members. Boomer Effin Sooners here. He says, howdy, folks. And let's say hello also to Ryan, who was here earlier with a comment. Thank you so much for being here. Of course, we're talking with Chad from Devour. And Tim Shea says, XXI Gaming, I was thinking it might be good for them to link up with MMAI. Yeah, you know what? MMAI with the AI technology could potentially do something perhaps to help out Devour. So everyone's saying hello to one another. We appreciate you guys all being here. Let's just see if we got some more comments coming up here. Yeah, but we do want to say hello to Ryan. Thank you so much for being here as well. And so right now we also have Cool Cat Crypto here. Thank you so much. All right, so saying hello. What's up, Sir Larry, Mighty Max, and Chad? Thank you so much. There's 19 people here. If you guys would hit the like button, we're going to get into showing you the roadmap. So what do you think down the road? What's your long-term vision? Do you plan on adding any other sort of utilities? Like, do you have any ideas about adding something different, or are you just going to keep enhancing what you have? Because what you have now is great. I'm just wondering if you have plans to add anything else in addition to what you have now in terms of utilities.
Yes, we do. And so, when I think about utility, the main thing, right, is feature functionality enhancement to Devour Go that helps the users of the platform get more value out of it. So I'll break this down from the restaurant side first. Restaurants, incidentally, aren't the entity that we solve the biggest problem for, but I'm going to talk about it from their perspective. They are on Uber. They're on these marketplaces already. They're on DoorDash. I mean, I used to work at a company that helped connect restaurants, integrate them to these platforms, and very common to see a restaurant on 4, 5, or 6 different marketplaces because they're trying to get in all the business they can. Now, because that happened even pre-pandemic, that those services were hot. Now, post-pandemic, I mean, we can all know, just how important online ordering and delivery were to restaurant survival. So since then, it's like restaurants have laid that infrastructure down. Like if I get an order on DoorDash, that's going right to my kitchen. Nobody has to manually punch that order in. Like it's just super efficient. So we are tying into that existing infrastructure. So a restaurant to go on Devour Go doesn't have a tech lift. There's no project there. It's just flipping a switch. Their menu gets sucked into our platform so people can see it and order from it. When an order comes in, goes right into their kitchen. Like they didn't have to do squat. Right? It's just they're doing the same thing they already do. And restaurants are busy enough. That's key to not change their operations in any way. So that's why it's been easy for the restaurants. We've already, even like months and months ago, say, yeah, let me know when Devour goes live. I'm in, right? Just because they knew it was going to be easy. Easy, new way of getting new orders. Not just any new orders. The platform that's going to give them access to the Web3 world, the next generation of customers, the Gen Z, Y, Alpha, the younger group that get this space more intuitively than the older populations, right? So this is their gateway to that, and they didn't have to do anything to get there. So that's one. The other side is who are we solving the problem for? The users? Yeah, I mean, it's really cool if you have NFTs and you're getting these cool, extra level experiences because of it. But we've all heard also for a long time, like this project doesn't have utility. This NFT doesn't have utility. It's just an art project, etc., etc. It's the story of the NFT world in particular. There's exceptions, but by and large, right, that's the problem. People say, like, there's no utility here. Now, by partnering with Devour, instant utility. Now your NFT, your community, the strength of your community, to some degree dictates how much utility you get, right? Like across the spectrum of all the restaurants out there who want to recognize you. Are you an interesting community? Have you done anything that's noteworthy? Well, then that restaurant wants to give you benefit, because now they're going to get, right, new customers who probably way more socially savvy, social media savvy than the typical customer. They get the delivery bag. It's cool. They take a picture, they tweet it, and 30,000 people see it, right? Like it's a chance for a restaurant to go viral, and it's a chance for these communities to give, or these community leaders to give their communities something of true value, like food benefit, restaurant benefit. Doesn't cost them anything to do it, right? So it just makes sense on both sides of the equation. Like it's tons of value for the communities, tons of value for the restaurants, and we're just bridging the gap with that Web3, Web2 tech combo.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah, one of the key things I want to point out that I'm looking most forward to is when you get, for instance, to the last quarter of 2023 with Go Connect. Like it says, I mean, I know it's hard for you guys to see this. I'll just state this. It basically mentions, I'm going to pull it up actually. API to enable restaurant technology solutions to utilize our technology to extend Web3 functionality to their products. And then from there in 2024 it says metaverse utility in metaverse/game utility for ordering food from restaurants. Let's face it, even with the metaverse in itself, these different, headsets you have, whether it's, Oculus or some of the ones from Steam, you name it, right? Even there's a few of them out there. That in itself is that adoption period. We got to get more and more people into the metaverse, but it's going to happen. I see, when we talk about, for instance, these various different metaverse platforms, like we covered Metopolis here, for instance. There's other ones, right? There's XDCs, which I'm blown away with. But I want to state this. You get all these people attending these live virtual events, they're going to get so addicted to it. That's the key thing. And like, as a gamer, let's face it, you love a certain game, you play all the time, you become addicted to it. It's worse than television back in the 70s and 80s, where people just, became couch potatoes. It's going to be a virtual couch potato environment to a sense, right? People are going to want to stay at the virtual concerts. They meet other people at these virtual concerts. They don't want to get up and leave to go get food. So they're going to have something in which bring it here. And literally I could see people answering the door where they just don't even want to take off their headset, to a sense. Here, I got this thing with Devour and so on. That is where we get the mass adoption. And so when I say that we're still so early, it's just that we are just simply early, but we will get to these points of time where that mass adoption kicks in. I love the idea that you guys have put in focus on your product, and that's what excites me going further. That's why I decided, this is one of the few out there that I'm going to basically get a second bag of it, because I do see where you're going. You have lasted the test of time. You're not some garbage project that only lasted like 3 months and basically rugged the community and all that. You guys aren't a bunch of degenerates where, like you said, you came from, this dog crap token Inu thing or whatever and so on. I'll throw one out there. Yeah, freaking Clifford Inu. I got $1,400 into that garbage, and I missed out on the V2 migration. The deadline was the 31st at 8 a.m. UTC. I missed it by 3 hours. So I'm stuck with that, 100% loss. I would never recommend crap to our community, because unless it's something that I'm personally into or I am going to get into. So I know it's a long spiel. I want to state this, guys. We were going to show you a little bit more in regards to everything with chat and so on, but you also got to respect the community that's here for some of our other coverage, like, XRP, Quant, and so on. I do apologize, guys, for not properly tagging all the communities and so on. But, we do have a decent amount of people here right now, 20 and so on, but it's like roughly about half our numbers that we've been getting. But guys, hopefully you enjoy the content that we brought you today. with our special guest, Chad Horn, COO/co-founder of Devour. We would love to reconnect with you in the future, Chad, and basically do these check-ins, if you will. 8 months. Wow, you guys did a lot in 8 months. I'll give you the last words. Back to you.
So last word. If you love restaurants, I mean, this is what got us into it. Everybody eats, right? So think about, right, how, if you were going to design it, right, how would you connect food and restaurants to the Web3 world, the crypto world, the blockchain? We've been thinking about nothing else, right, since December a year ago on how to best do that. Devour Go, and then the ecosystem around the industry, Devour Pay, is how we've brought that to life. Very, very confident in the vision. Our Telegram, recommend checking that out. Again, we had to have an awesome community to get to this point. We do. These people are awesome. And that is t.me, Telegram, /Go Devour. Instead of Devour Go, it's Go Devour. And check us out. Have fun. It's such a cool community. And it's just the beginning. And it's like, especially with the new year, the product just came out. We're going to start publicizing it and get some real attention on it now. It's going to be an exciting year. Hope you're all a part of it.
Yeah, and last but not least, before we let you go, if you guys are wondering, where you can get Devour, you can get on Uniswap. Do you guys have plans to be listed on some exchange in the future? Or I forgot to ask that earlier before we close out.
And I'm just going to really quickly answer Coochie Boy's question. Restaurants don't accept crypto to be on Devour, right? We accept crypto and pay the restaurants in fiat. That is part of the process of making it really easy for them. In the future, they can if they want to.
We got some good comments coming in here as we're closing out with Chad. Focus and trade. Devour is going to be addictive. The experience will drive adoption. Thanks for that. And Crypto Puppet is here saying the possibilities are just endless with this token. Thank you, Chad. Thank you so much for the comments.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So thank you so much for being here, Chad. We wish you guys the very best luck at Devour. I think there's great things for your future. And guys, we're going to go ahead and say goodbye to Chad. And of course, get into some of the other comments and so on. Thanks again, Chad. Take it easy.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you so much, Chad. We'll talk to you. We'll hopefully talk to you soon.
See you around.
Thank you.
All right, let's just go ahead and get to some more comments. If we missed any, I saw a few more people filtered in. Shout out to XXI Gaming, Daniel Delgado, Boomer F and Sooner, Brittany, Crypto Puppet. I saw some other names.
Steve the Canadian.
Steve the Canadian. Thank you so much for being here, guys. And the debater is here as well. Thank you for continuously joining us. We really appreciate you. Soundmatter in Space, how you doing tonight? Focus and Trade is in here. Brian Dowie, all you guys, good to see you. You lose your spot. You want me to highlight one for you?
Oh yeah, highlight one for me if you would. I was
all right
waiting on you there. All right.
I don't even know where we're last at.
Oh, you want to go through the comments? All right, let's go through. Let's start out here. Howdy, folks, from Boomer F and Sooner. Tim Shea, XXI Gaming. I was thinking it might be good for them to link up with MetaMonkey. We talked about that. And what's good, Boomer? Thank you again, Steve the Canadian. Let's see here. So the incentive is going to be Mr. MD. I think they have to decide if they're going to expand to the international platforms. I think that it's good that they're starting in the U.S. because of the way the team is developed with their connections in the restaurant industry. But yeah, that's a good question. I think that they could definitely expand.
I think they eventually get there. You know, when we highlighted, or I highlighted that particular area where I was looking forward to like 2024, because in my opinion, that's where the mass adoption is. You know, I'm sure they look at it from the perspective, even like myself as a gamer, right? So as a gamer, you're not just gaming it up with, you know, people in the United States. A lot of times you have friends that are in Europe or all over the world. So when they get that metaverse aspect of things, I'm pretty sure for the most part, they would recognize, you know what? that is where we expand, because literally we have an international audience. It's the metaverse. It's not just focused specifically on the United States. It doesn't work that way.
I guess the Monday Night Football game has been suspended and canceled. That's interesting. I guess there was an injury to Bill's Damar Hamlin. Hopefully he's okay. That's really scary that they actually canceled the game or suspended it. XXI Gaming is thanking us. And let's see. Thank you to Max. Tucci Boy, we read this one here. Possibilities are endless. Happy Monday, Brittany. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Will that project get listed on any exchanges? That's something that I think that they could definitely start to work on more. I think that's the big thing. They just need more exposure.
Yeah, and if anything, I mean, I feel as though if they would have put too much focus on getting listed on exchanges, maybe that token migration from V1 to V2, I wouldn't have been in the profits, right? Maybe I've been way, way down, because let's face it, those are things in which take away from their marketing wallet to pay for those specific things. So, let's point this out. At least their emphasis wasn't like, well, we just want to make a whole bunch of money focusing for the devs and so on, and then we'll get that product out. You know what I'm talking about. There's so many garbage projects out there that do that, right? When you hear some of the things that Chad was mentioning, like their emphasis is on, getting a good solid product out there, and some of the other things that they're working on, that was really impressive, because if anything, like it kind of has, to a sense, I don't know if I should use this as an analogy, but like a Cardano style feeling, like, you're trying to put emphasis on the quality of the product, and then the rest will come. You could even say, like, XLM. I mean, I know it's apples and oranges, like those are totally different projects, but that is a fair comparison, because it should be the focus, like delivering, not under promising and over, or under delivering and under promising, if you will. It should be a perfect example of, look, this is what we got. This is our roadmap where we're going forward. And they have delivered on that. I mean, how many projects have we seen basically that are ERC20 and so on? They're just not even around. I mean, I hate to say this, and I don't know. I'm not into, what the heck is it called? Phantom Project, right? Not Phantom with a F, Phantom with the P, right? Mm-hmm. God, man, I mean, a lot of guys got destroyed on it. I mean, are they even still technically around? That's what I'm talking about. Like over promising and under delivering. How many countless times? This is one that literally came around beginning of the year, still around, and they have, again, all these people in that industry. I don't know. I was impressed with it. It's not something that we do all the time, where we're like, hey, guys, here's this low market one out there, get into it and so on. We don't really show you guys a lot of stuff. But it's just, what really stood out for me was that V1 to V2, I'm literally in the profits, and I'm saying to myself, yeah, the reason why is because these guys focus on a quality product / service, and they literally work in that industry. You know how many projects have people that just hop into crypto because there's opportunity, because they just want to simply make money in crypto, and they have no background at all in that? Every single person, from what I've seen, has just that, a restaurant background. And that's something to be said.
Oh, we have some interesting, sad news coming in here from the NFL. We normally don't talk too much about sports, but I think we should in this case. Looks like someone got critically hurt and perhaps passed away. I don't want to report this wrong, but if you're looking at Boomer Up and Sooner, said the reports are that Damar Hamlin was dead on arrival at the hospital. Wow, he collapsed. Bills Damar Hamlin in critical condition after collapsing on the field. The game is suspended for the rest of the night. That's just sad news.
Jeez, that's horrible.
Yeah, this is just horrible news. We're bringing it to you now because it's in the chat a lot here. So sorry to hear this. They canceled the game because someone got hurt. But thank you for being here, Queen Perseverance.
Hello,
thank you. And hopefully Wadi's doing good. That is, of course, Wadi's wife. Thank you for being here. And I think her first name is Sonia. That's why Tim Shea is saying, hey, Sonia. Cool Cap Crypto. Oh, more than one hurt, I guess. Here's Boomer Up and Sooner. Triple C. Some are reporting that the player died on the field. I don't know about that, though. Okay. So we'll have to get more information on that. But that's just sad news that they would.
Yeah,
Someone
that's
get
horrible news
Yeah, horrible,
for
horrible
anybody. It
stuff.
doesn't matter what sport it is. It's just that's horrible.
Boomer
And
Episode said he made a tackle, got up, wobbled, and collapsed. Oh, geez, that's terrible. And that's exactly what Tim Shea just said. That's terrible.
must have
It's
got
on Google
a
and
really
YouTube.
bad concussion or something, and it
I
just
don't know.
yeah.
Horrible news. Tim Shea says, I'm sorry, XXI Gaming says, yeah, Max, I like the project, dude. Thanks for giving up another opportunity at a good project.
Yeah, I mean, and it is one that I'm personally into. So, you know, I mean, I know in the past, I think it was Tim Shade, you know, it wasn't where that I wasn't into MetaMonkey, but yeah, I'm definitely into Devour. And when I say I'm looking to get second bag, yes, I am, because I'm looking at these particular prices and so on in order to get a decent. I'm looking to get decent gains for the future, and I'm not going to get the amount that I'm comfortable with. I'm not going to say it's going to be like I'm going to become rich off it or anything like that, but if anything, the amount that I'm looking to put into it, it'll be like, man, this was a real nice, solid play, and you know, walk away from it in the future. Like, yeah, I'm proud that that is one that we got into. It actually was Larry who originally reached out to him the first time. The second time around, I reached out to him because I saw, you know, on my Coinbase wallet, I was just like, wow, this is crazy. It's just, my portfolio was like, it's not a lot, but it was like, you know, $50 in the green or in the black, as the saying goes, you know. And I was just like, and it's been consistent, like roughly sometimes as high as 60. Do you know of a lot of projects in which you're up that much? No, you're probably $1,000 in the negative or something, depending on what you got into. So it is what it is.
Daniel, don't call me Carlos Delgado. He likes Phantom with an F. I like Phantom with an F too.
Yeah, Phantom with the F is great. Phantom with a P, get the. Ugh.
I think Tim Shea say they're doing Phantom with a P is doing a V2. XXI Gaming. I'm meaning us not up. All right. Ken Block died according to Crypto McDizzle. I had to look that up. That's a rally car driver, so we're sorry for the loss there.
Oh, bad news today.
Tim Shea, Daniel F. Phantom is a quality project. Yes. Let's see. Tab Cunningham. Here's some news here. Just read Fox 19 News. Hamlin had a pulse, but not breathing on his own, being transported to UC. He needed AED and CPR on the field. Fox 19 reporting. Let's see. Thank you so much for being here, Crypto McDizzle. Crypto Puppet.
Hey, Mike, good to see you.
If they cancel the game, it's for a bad reason. I've never heard of an NFL game being canceled before. I don't ever remember that happening.
Yeah, that makes sense. If they cancel the game, it's because they were trying to respect the families. Because I mean, that's, you know, that's the final resting place of a person. That's sad. That's incredibly sad to hear that.
Boomer Evan Sooner chilling at the crib. What happened to those tornadoes we're supposed to have today? Big watch, dude. They canceled the game because the players weren't emotionally prepared to go back on the field after what they had witnessed.
Yeah, I mean, how do you put on a smile? Like, how do you smile and be like, oh yeah, let's play a game? Yeah, I mean, it's just no.
Okay, Tim Shea. They showed that player hugging his family before the game. Oh wow. Ted Cunningham, Joe Dania. Okay. Brian died. He went to the hospital. His family went with him. All right. Well, that's sad news.
It is.
I don't know, Max. What do you think? Do you want to kind of wrap things up? We got 20 people in here. If you guys would hit the like button. But thank you for joining us today. We had Chad with Devour earlier talking about Devour token and everything that they've been doing. So that was a good show that we had. So I'll let you have the last word, Max.
Well,
we do have one quick project.
I'll answer that one real quick. You know, even for us, right? Sometimes it is hard to just, you know, transition from I just heard bad news like that to okay, let me answer this question. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's I don't know. I mean, some of us can basically tune out the real world and focus on what we're trying to do. But I think the moral of the story should basically be this: you never know when your time is up. You know, so you know, try to treat people better than you have. Try to embrace your loved ones. Try to recognize, you know what? Show some love. You know, if you didn't give somebody a hug for a long time, maybe you do that. Maybe if you haven't talked to a relative for a long time, whatever the case be, somebody you have some, like an old friend that you have some beef with or something, like, squash all that. You just don't know when your time is up, because when it is, trust me, there's no way out. So I don't know if I leave on that, but I will answer that particular question. How long has the project been out? I think since the beginning of 2022. I'm going to double check that for you. So let me see, because I mean, that was on the old contract, and it's probably going to show. Yeah, it's going to show on, this new one's on the V2. I'm going to show you the original contract, which is the restaurants token. Hold on. There we go. So I'm going to pull that up, and let's see. Shucks, it doesn't even pull out on CMC anymore on the graph. I'm just going to say this. I'm pretty sure it is from the beginning of 2022. So basically about a year. They could have been around before that. You got to keep in mind, maybe they had some like seeding money, maybe late 2021 and so on. But fair enough to say since at least the beginning of 2022. How do I know that? Because for one, they were still a few months new before they came on the Max and Larry show. The first time they were with us, that show was, I think, in May. I remember this. It was one of the first projects that came in to our show at that time. So, you know what? I think, if anything, we're going to go ahead and, I guess show some respect too. I know. Here's the thing. I mean, that's something that's kind of conquering, or not conquering. That's all you guys' head as well. So, we're going to show some respect to, and we're going to basically close out the show for right now. We're approaching the 1 hour and 30-minute mark anyway. In closing, I want to state this. Embrace whoever it is. You got a loved one in your family. Are you married? Are you single? Whatever the case be, right? Mother, father, sisters, brothers, sons and daughters. You just don't know. I hope to God that we all make it through 2023 and all live a long life and so on. But that's just the reality of it. I've lost so many of my friends who were at a young age. One of my best friends, Mike Lehman, when I was a freshman in high school, 2 weeks into that particular year of my freshman year, he crossed on the crosswalk. He got ran over by a drunk driver just crossing the crosswalk. He was my best friend. And I said to myself, I would never touch alcohol. I never took a sip of alcohol up until like age 27, 28. I decided, you know what? I need to move on from that. But whatever the case be, moral of the story is just, you never know when your time is up, and just hug somebody. Tell them how much you love them, or her, or whoever. So we're going to close on that. We will see you guys tomorrow. And if anything, I will not end it on a depressing note. I'll state this. Larry and I have introduced this whole concept of a game show to you. We are really working hard on getting this going and getting all the testing phases and the bugs and whistles worked out. Do you want to talk about that real quick and just kind of give them a taste of what's to come?
Yeah. So not to spoil it too much, but it's probably going to take on the life of a few different game shows. We won't really say which ones right now. We'll let you guys make those comparisons. It'll be probably pretty obvious, but we decided we want to spend a little more time on the development end of it because we had a meeting today, Max and I, and we could kind of just put it out there, but we probably, ourselves wouldn't be happy with, the level of sophistication, I guess you could say, or gameplay. So we're going to try to improve it. And we just need a little more time to develop it, like another week. So we'll have the Wednesday roundtable, the CTN crypto roundtable. And then we're going to introduce our new game, which we're going to come out with the following Wednesday. And we're going to call it CTN Squares. So we'll have a really cool game show. And it's something that will be probably 90%, 85, 90% crypto related. And we'll have some real life stuff in there. Maybe we'll throw some sports into it too. We'll have some sports questions or geography questions or history questions or different things that are revolving around the Max and Larry show, and also the community. I think we'll have questions related to the community, and then the rest of it will be crypto related.
There's going to be a lot of audience interactions, so we don't want to get you guys bored. There's also going to be some questions that are not like just crypto. Like for instance, could have some geography, a famous person, president, stuff like that. You know, sports people, actors, you name it. And on top of that, because we don't want it to make it dry, we'll have some preloaded video clips, right? Not necessarily like from Twitter or YouTube and so on, but like ready to go. Boom, like hit one button, boom, it comes up on the screen, and then it'll be related to like there'll be a particular team or whatever, and that or that particular person has to answer the question of who they see on the screen in the video or name this particular thing. It'll be a really, really fun thing, and I think people will really look forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. I guess I'll at least mention this. Larry and I said that it'd be better if we both were kind of like he's the host and I'm Vanna White, but but we were
I'm having nightmares.
Yeah, we basically I don't know. She was pretty hot back in the day, but
well, no, I'm having nightmares thinking about you becoming Vanna White.
Yeah, you don't
no,
want to
what I'm saying
that,
is we're probably it's going to be it's going to be a little more sophisticated than we originally thought.
Right.
I think we're going to have like questions involving, video clips and a lot of cool stuff. So it's actually easier for both of us to co-host it. And it'll be cool. So we'll both be kind of like, I don't know, take your favorite game show host and multiply it by 2. We'll be kind of like that. And we'll give a CTN. But the big thing is to get the audience to interact. So there'll be like teams. So like, for example, if Waddy, Daniel, maybe Sean, the Crypto Smith, all these guys come on, maybe Jeremy, whoever comes on in the future, they're going to be like what we would call the team captains. And so the audience members are going to be assigned to their team. So when people come into the chat, we're going to automatically quickly put you on teams. And so your job is to actually help the game contestant. So, if, for example, if Daniel Gayton is your team captain, your job is to help him score points in the game, basically.
I will spill the beans on a little bit on this.
I think you can tell Max is excited about the game.
I'm super excited because I want this to be literally tomorrow. Oh yeah. So not tomorrow, on Wednesday, but Larry was saying like to fine tune even more, we need to get all the graphics done and stuff like that. So it's not something that we're just winging. We're actually putting time into this, like a lot of time into it, because we've always wanted to have like a cool game. Like for instance, I want to say this. It's not that we're competing with 2-Bit Crypto, because I think he's a great content creator and so on. But he has, like, for instance, marbles. And then for the longest time, we were thinking, like, well, do we invest money to create like a video game? You know what I mean? And we're like, man, that's going to cost a lot, So we're like, well, why don't we use with what we have and make it a cool thing? Kind of like the same concept of you go to your friend's house, they have board games. You don't necessarily play video games. You might play like a really cool board game like Catan, or you play, for instance, like my friend Mike and my friend Jerry, they have this really cool games called Cash Flow, right? It's like a business-related game. So I'm thinking to myself, like, you sit down with your friends, you have a good time, but like you play a game that's basic, you use what you have to a sense. So we're using what we have here, but it's going to be really cool because we're going to incorporate very creative things. And I think people do appreciate the creativity of it. I promise you this, okay? So the whole thing with the NFTs, remember I was like, no, I ain't touching no freaking NFT ever again, Larry, on this giveaway and doing because that was just like botched, and I felt really bad about it. Larry did as well. And I was like, we can't have another moment like that again. Like if that happens again, then you guys are gonna come out with your pitchforks or something. I mean, it's gonna be horrible. And I was just like, this has to be good. So it's gonna be great.
I don't want to use the word sinister, but I have a creative way to guilt trip you into I wanted to figure out a way to make the audience stick, because some people come in and they go out and stuff like that. So we're going to guilt trip you into staying for the whole show, the game show, right? The CTN squares. The reason why you're going to stay is if you leave, you're going to be bailing out on your team captain because he might need you. You might know the answer to a question that the rest of the teammates might not know. So if we're going to go through the team and there's 10 guys on, let's say, Waddy's team, and Waddy's struggling to come up with the answer. It's we're going to say, well, where's the rest of his team? So you guys are going to kind of be like obligated to watch the whole show. How about that? It's a little bit, it's a kind of a trick to get you to stay for the whole show. No, Max is not going to wear a dress. No, well, please, no.
Hold on. I want to go back to that comment, though. Where was it? I lost it now. One? Yeah. So yes, that to answer the question, yes, we're going to do that. We also have to respect that maybe some other people aren't into hip hop. Maybe it's like rock or something like that. So we'll do a little bit like some of the different genres, but there's going to be different categories for questions. And then Larry's going to navigate. He's got like some shortcuts, if you will, where you could press a button and then it goes to like a certain frame, maybe like Jeopardy style and all that stuff. But we have to do a lot of practice runs to get this going. But it's not going to be some just botched thing and like, oh God, like, then next station or whatever. It's going to be fun. So, yeah, as far as the whole dress thing, I don't know about that. I mean, I could try,
No.
but it'd be really weird
Don't
to be
even
coming
try.
up here,
No.
Hi, everybody. It's Larry to my right. Now, when was the last time he was in San Francisco? Oh my goodness. No, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, we're going to get shut down.
We're going to get shut down. Yeah. So anyway.
Oh boy. No, we don't need well, Vanna White's probably not working anymore. Maybe we can actually get the real Vanna Whites. He's probably retired and bored. I don't know if anybody would want the current Vanna White, but yeah.
Yeah. Guys, I mean, here's the thing. Like, so some things kind of went a little bit further on the, I don't know, the flow of the show and the bad news, for instance, with Hamlin and so on. So, I don't know. We're also at the 1 hour 36 mark. I'll just say this, Crypto Puppet, be on the lookout for another quant video. I do have some updates for you guys. I'll put that out later tonight. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I did have like a clip. Maybe I could just do one. You want me to do one real quick, Larry, before we go?
Sure.
All right. So I do respect it. Okay. Yeah, this is good stuff. All right. So I'm going to share this real quick. Let me do a share tab, and then we'll close it out with this particular one. And I apologize, guys, that we didn't get into all these other stuff and as well as not tagging all the communities. I think that's proof to show that you got to tag all the communities. Otherwise, you just don't get the attendance. But all right. So shout out to the one and only Quant Papa. Great content.
I love it when they call me Quant Papa.
I knew you were going to say that. Okay. Yeah. All right. So Quant Papa, he states, hope you have packed your bags, right? Or bags packed. Quant, Gilbert knows. This should be like a trailer for Quant, in my opinion. This is 1 minute and 4 seconds, and then we'll come back.
And I'm proud that $130 trillion across all the payment systems and the payment rails.
Hold on a second. It's not playing right at all. What is going on here? Hold on.
And I'm proud that $130 trillion across all the payment systems and the payment rails is to rewire the entire global financial system.
And I've worked in cybersecurity for 20 years. I ran the UK's payment infrastructure for the Bank of England as the chief security officer with a company called Berkelink. And I know how difficult it is to secure a very complex financial system.
$130 trillion.
Heavily regulated, heavily supervised, heavily audited. But using blockchain, it allows you to do that in a simpler way. And what we've done is, through interoperability, remove the barriers for adoption, allowed anyone to basically use any blockchain with 3 lines of code.
$130 trillion.
And that's so unique.
Of capital to be deployed.
We're shaping the system.
Historic wall of capital.
England ran the payment infrastructure as the chief security officer for the Bank of England, so keeping all the money safe.
Kind of lagged out because I
had
to
probably say hello to Selmo Fudd, by the way. I saw him a little earlier. Thank you for being here, Selmo Fudd.
Yeah, thank you, Selmo. Sorry about that, guys. I kind of laid down. I'll play one more before we leave. I do, so we have a few more people join. Amazing how that works. As soon as we talk about XRP and Quant and some of these ISOs, boom, attendance kicks up. But that's okay.
Start saying, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a better job in the future in regards to that. As part of our content creator journey, there's a crypto journey. There's a content creator journey. You learn to get better. Let me see here. There is that particular one. Hold on. Yeah, I showed you guys this on a particular Quant video recently, but this is really powerful. I'm going to share this one as well. This one's about 1 minute. It's regards to Swift, right? This is, I don't know, some people who, I don't know, in the comments, no offense, they point out like, well, this is just all speculation. Is it though? Because last I checked, you both have Martin Hargreaves, and you also have, for instance, Gilbert Verdian confirming that Swift reached out to them, and they reached out to them as Cybos. So I'm gonna play this 1 minute and 3 seconds, and then from there we may or may not wrap it up. Here we go.
We've got one, just more people to invite. We've been meeting a lot of the banks and institutions. So one of the ones that was interested was Swift. So if we'd like to discuss new people joining as one of the items.
Last week, we announced the results of groundbreaking experiments.
So we at Quant have done an implementation of this in the last few weeks.
In that field, that show essentially that CBDC DLT networks can be interlinked.
In this case, they are two completely different DLT type systems.
And not just with each other all over the world, but also with existing payment systems.
They could be traditional systems as well.
And what this means is that as CBDCs will be rolled out, they can, automatically, immediately scale and be used globally.
Swift is an organization that represents pretty much all of the world banks. About 40,000 banks own Swift, and it's the network that interconnects all of them.
It's the one that internet connects all of them. Swift, right? 40,000 plus banks. Now, previously speaking, I put out that particular thumbnail that does some of the math. And of course, there was one person that kind of called me out for it. He's like, well, you're just focusing on payments. Yeah, I'm also trying to make a point basically stating that, we're just scratching the surface when it comes to all this. So when I mentioned, for instance, the start of the utility run going into a bull run, and I mentioned specifically these three first, right? I mentioned XRP, XLM, and I even throw Quant in the mix. Why Quant in the mix? Is this just because, oh, you guys do really well in your Quant videos, Max, so you got to throw Quant in the mix? No. I mention it because what you see specifically there, Martin Hargreaves basically being, as Cybos, Swift reaching out to him, Gilbert Verdian, and so on. 40,000 banks use Swift. What do we know? We know that, for instance, Swift is going to upgrade. They're not being replaced. They're going to upgrade. So even if we don't get the full 40,000 of those particular banks, you start doing this particular math. We talk about supply and demand and utility. You could draw your own conclusions. So when I came up with that, for instance, some people go like, oh, that's a crazy market cap prediction. Is it? If you saw Bitcoin with, let's face it, they don't have the utility Quant get to these particular levels that we saw, even scratching the surface, we get some of these crazy market caps for the future. That's why I feel as though Quant is just, it's the second chance that Bitcoin, like going back to 2013 at $100, because it's at the $100 level. Can you not be excited about that? I am super excited about it. So I'll leave it at that. If you want to go into a few more comments before we finally wrap up the show, I totally understand. But that's for all the fans. Thank you so much for being supportive of our show and being patient with us and so on while we work out a few kinks. But we're looking forward to especially Wednesday's show. Larry and I are working on a few things tomorrow, but we got a lot planned for 2023. We're constantly looking to improve the show, and then on top of that, we're constantly looking to improve our channel, not just YouTube and so on. We're doing a lot of work, to be honest. Larry and I talk every single day about all the things we're working on. So thank you guys.
Now, Crypto Puppet says, thanks, Max. So thank all you guys for joining us. It's been a good show, and we will see you again tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care now.
Take care, everybody. Have a good night.